Hello, welcome to episode 3 of the LCK Discord podcast. I'm Jason, and I'm also here with Guardian. Almost had the podcast start playing. Guardian, Bertz, Cho, and then we have special guest Slav on today. So hello and welcome everybody.
Hey,
Hello.
yo, what's good?
Hey, yo.
Alright, so a lot of stuff went on since last week when we did the LCS finals, right? Yeah, I was away for that one, but you guys all were doing that.
Yeah, we've had the LCK Spring Promotion Tournament, you know.
The most glorious tournament of all time, with top teams coming from all around the world.
Oh, yeah. Then who'll become the greatest team in the world? What did we all think of that night? Now, obviously, right? What did you think of it, Guardian? We'll start with you. You know, I heard you're a man of faith, you know. What did you
Me?
think of the first series? Yeah, what did you think of it? Who do you think will go through in the tournament for starters?
First of all, last weekend I went to church and shit, right? I prayed for CJ to win, but then the moment I saw game one, I thought they were gonna convincingly get this 2-0, but then game two, it felt like Wing was just legit, just doing the ambition special, just invading without any pushing lanes and all that, and then game three happened, and then I got this famous screenshot of like when CJ was legit 10 towers down. They got 0 towers, as opposed to barbecue, and it wasn't even a contest. I was like five kills or like 6 kills at the time at 35 minutes in, and a macro. Then I just I kind of lost faith from then on because I just said like CJ doesn't deserve to go to LCK if this happens.
Do you think they will go to LCK in the end?
By barbecue, yeah, barbecue out of all people. BBQ, holy shit. Yeah.
So I didn't.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't watch it because like it's really out of my time zone at the moment. But from what I see, I think Kongdu will probably make it over CJ. And I wasn't really too surprised to see every winners out.
What about you, Yaskov? What did you think of the series today? If you watched them.
And Daniel.
Oh, okay. Well, I have actually a bigger point besides the actual series themselves. Is that I think that the promotion tournament is like a big waste of time in Korea because like the talent is so centralized around the top 5 or 6 teams. There's not really that much investment to be able to get a team into the LCK and be able to perform at any level because you just don't have the money to get any players. It's not like in NALCS where you used to be able to just have investors back you up and then just shill out money for players like Someday or any like other big names. So honestly, like I'd like to see an academy team system or something integrated into the future. But more so for the games, I think Kongdu and BBQ will get in. Kongdu being favorites over BBQ.
What about you, Cho? What do you think? I'll come back to your point in a second, Self, actually. What do you think, Cho?
I agree with what Slav said. I think this tournament's a pretty pointless tournament because none of these teams that make in are going to be like top contenders. You know, they don't have the necessary skill, whether it's players or coaching staff, to contest for like top 3 spots. You know, to going to Worlds. So they're going to be bottom feeders, and nothing more than that, in my opinion. I didn't see that much of the games. I just saw like attempt smacking fools from BBQ.
Oh, yeah, he was smacking shit.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. As forever, Rip Kim, a bit unfortunate, but yeah, their roster isn't particularly good. Apart from like Malrang, it's a pretty weak roster. I do think that like BBQ and then it's a toss up between Kongdu or CJ who makes it in. Maybe I want to say CJ just because I like the org, but it's a bit tough to predict. It's gonna be close between Kongdu and CJ.
Even if they do make it, I think you had a good point. Like they're not gonna be. I think 8th is like a striving point for them to like stay in LCK. It would just be like their goal. Like unless they do like dramatic roster swaps or coaching staff changes, like there's no way.
Yeah, personally, I think BBQ and I would like to see CJ get in, but I don't think either of the 2 teams are going to... Wait, EW already out, aren't they? Or...
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Okay, then it'll be Kongdu and BBQ. I'd say we'll get in.
Yeah, I don't think
see
CJ will get
getting
in. Just because Kongdu is going to follow the script of being an LCK in spring and then just get relegated. So it's the script. It's been like this.
I mean, it pains me because CJ is my favorite team after SKT. They have been for a long time. But like at this point, they're just like the young miracles of Korea. They're just going to be stuck in challenger scene for all time. I mean, outside of like Winged and maybe Veritas, they just don't have the players. They don't have the coaching staff either. It's rather unfortunate.
To address the point actually that you and Joe agreed on, what would you like to see in this academy system? What would you like to see changed maybe about the regular one?
Like honestly, like I think 10 teams is I think decreasing the teams from 10 to 8 and each team having an academy team where they could develop talent, because some LCK rosters have subs like some like for example Longzhu I'm pretty sure has like a 10-man roster like Zeus, Justice, Rascal. They also have like a sub 80 carry. I feel like if they played in like some offline maybe online tournament or something like that, that could develop talent for the main rosters, and it would be better than just having these promotion tournaments that really don't really. It's basically just pushing advertisements into the bottom 3 places of LCK. Like that's basically what it is. It's just advertising space what they're fighting for. It's not really to be competitive because there's no way they can really be competitive.
Would you agree with that, Joe? Would you think that's something you'd like to see in the LCK as well?
Yeah, I agree. I think the academy system would be very beneficial for the LCK region as a whole. There's a lot of talent in LCK Challenger, like the Challenger ladder solo queue, that generally maybe doesn't even get to make it into the LCK. Like KT, for example, has UCal, who's a really talented young player. I'd like to see him play in the LCK. Will he? I don't know. I mean, his competition spawns, so he probably will at one point, especially if Pawn leaves. But yeah, I think the academy system would be really nice. It would help. It would go a long way in terms of developing talent for LCK as a region.
Yeah, UCal is an insane player, and like he just doesn't get playtime because Pawn's already he's already an established name, so he'll just never get play because there's no academy system. There's no way for him to play. Like, why would they sub him in? Because they're fighting for top 3 spots. There's no room for error. There's no room for risks.
I'm sure they did do scrims with him and stuff. Like, if Pawn kept playing how he did in spring, like, I think Pawn played really well in summer. Like, I was actually really surprised. I thought he was definitely the weakest part of KT during spring. And I think if he kept that up, they would have tried giving him at least more scrim time. But definitely think academy team is a better move.
Better system. What about you, Guardian? Would you support an academy system too?
I think that would be better than Challenger Series because, like, legit, the past year or two, I think the Challenger scene's just literally just been Kongdu, Everate, CJ, and Barbecue. Like, all those 4 teams, like, legit just... Oh, yeah, MVP. And then, I mean, it does get boring when it's just the same 4 teams or 3 teams all over again, like, for, I think, 2 years consecutive in 4 different splits, and I much prefer an academy like that. That's a good idea because like you have so many subs on the top teams, and you're just putting them on the bench, not even using them in matches, and just you might use them as scrim partners and all that. But I'd much prefer to see people like Lucy, the Longzhu 80 sub 80 carry, Justice, and all that people, including Sky and I think. Yeah, UCal. I really want to see UCal play in LCK one day because like I think he's talented and he's still at a young age, so he has a lot of development that needs to be done too.
And for like the teams that like obviously don't have as much financial resources, right? Because they're not KT Rolster or SK Telecom, they could just get like random solo queue players for their academy teams, and they can pay them in like sticky tape and rolls of string or something. But at least they can develop talent that way because if there's going to be a second Exodus, like Korea is going to keep getting robbed for talent, and that's horrible because we got lucky in 2015 that SKT managed to Superman and hold Korea up, but that may not last like for a second Exodus, and like Korea needs to look to the future with academy teams for sure, in my opinion.
Yep.
We'll move on to another region that may need to develop its talent a bit more and avoid imports. We'll move on to the EU Gauntlet. What did we think of the Gauntlet results? Now, obviously, Fnatic won in a 3-0 against TH2K. We'll start from the bottom and work our way up. The classic. It was Space versus TH2K to start, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What did we think of it?
Okay, I'll start.
Okay, Jason, you go.
I'll go. So I thought Splice was actually going to upset a lot. I didn't think they'd beat Fnatic, but I thought they'd be Splice versus Fnatic finals. And they look pretty bad, like, overall. I would have to say. Like, Unicorn's Love definitely gave H2K a lot better of a challenge to get their advancement spot. But
Mhm.
overall, I think Splice didn't really use their time off effectively, and I thought Unicorns Love really did. I thought Unicorns was going to be 3-0, whoever made it through, because they looked pretty bad when they played against Misfits. Right? Misfits through them? Yeah.
Yep, Misfits.
And then I figured Fnatic would still win. Like, it was definitely Misfits beating them, and I think was just them playing better on that day. I don't really think they're a better team. So I was pretty surprised that they didn't get first seed of EU. So it's good they got third, I guess.
What about you, Scov? What did you think of it?
You know, from the Thorn video, you know, the one with Veteran and I don't remember what the other guy was, but Schalke's analyst Veteran, he was hyping up Splice quite a bit and said they have a chance. So I was like excited that they might give H2K a run for their money, but they basically just fell apart. I guess they just can't do anything without Tomato Canyon.
So you think that a bit of coach, having that coach at all might have actually helped their chances a bit then, in comparison to what they seem to think?
I'm not saying that Yamato Cannon is like one of the greatest coaches of all time, but like he definitely made a difference for them compared to like when he was there and when he wasn't. They're all talented guys like Senkux and Wonder. They've shown like, you know, flashes of brilliance, and even Kabi in the bot lane, but they definitely need some like an experienced coach to guide them further, because they're going to stall without good proper coaching.
What about you, Guardian? What did you think of it?
We're starting from Splice and
yep.
HDK.
Yep, Splice versus HDK.
I mean, I never ever thought that Splice would actually win the series. I've always rooted for HDK in that matchup, just purely because I think that Splice can kind of fall under pressure. Like I've seen this happen before in the summer split, spring split, and even during Worlds. Like they can crumble under pressure, like when they're falling behind, or even if they have a lead, they can still throw it away. But I think that people have the misconception of thinking that if you throw away your coaching staff, then you might have a better chance of, you know, making it advancing, because the coaching staff could be trash tier or something like that. But I don't think. I think Splice could have done better with the coaching stuff, but HDK in that series against them was like, you know, definitely showed up, and they didn't choke that time. But I think the bot lane from Splice, they tried to 2v8 or something like that. I think in game 3, Mickey X was like just legit trying his best and his ass off, just trying to 2v8, while Trashy was just AFK in the jungle, just constantly dying, and then, you know, not actually using his brain for probably mid to late game. And moving on to UOL against H2. Oh, are you gonna move on, or?
Yeah, cover it if you want. Go for it. Hit me with the
Okay. Alright, I think with the UOL HTK, I never thought UOL would actually even get 2 games off HTK. I thought it was going to be 3-0. Not being biased to HTK or anything, just because I think that UOL is that wildcard team that version of UOL is going to show up. But then, you know, it was an alright series. I didn't watch the first 2 games. I woke up for the last 3, and it wasn't. Honestly, like when I saw the score of game 1, how Yankos went 0-5 on Javin, and the bot lane was always inting from HTK, I was like, okay, they can still pull it back. I don't doubt HTK in this scenario. But yeah, I'm happy they got the 3-2 over UOL. And I'm happy that UOL actually got 2 games off HTK in this series instead of being 3-0.
What about you, Joe? What do you think of those 2 series since Guardians decided to bust it up, you know?
Bad lads.
Like when I watched Splice versus G2, I had like really high hopes for Splice coming into this game. Unfortunately, they couldn't deliver. Like the result is a bit deceiving. Like it was a really close 3-0. It's not like any game where it was a particular stomp. I think Splice looked reasonably okay. It's just that whenever they had a lead, they would throw it in the most stupid way possible. They kept picking fights when they shouldn't have. Like they would fight, waste all their cooldowns, and just pick a fight again for absolutely no reason to lose that fight. I remember, like I forgot which game it was. Maybe game 2, 1 or 2, when they got Baron, and then they like picked a horrible fight in HTK's jungle, red side, and they got wiped. and the last Baron said it was a bit of a fiesta series, with Splice basically throwing whenever they could. HTK also threw, but they managed to come back a few times. So yeah, I think Splice performed reasonably okay. It's just that, you know, if they had a coach who could maybe help them be a bit calmer when it comes to decision making, it would go a long way, which they didn't have. So I've been unfortunate for them. And then UOL versus HTK, I said in the last podcast that if UOL goes back to their previous style, Like they changed their style mid-summer split, before Rift Rivals. I think it was like week 3 or 4 when they just started being bad, like hardcore, inting, especially Exile. And going into the series, game 1, I was really hyped. I was like, they did it. They went back to their previous style. This is going to be good. Like Exile even a solo kill February, which was really good for him, showing that he got his confidence back. And since he stopped shot calling, which I think happened in this series, he looked a lot better in lane. He could focus on his lane instead of just looking around the map. It's just a shame that Vizichachi and Hylissang had a really bad series, really bad. I think that was like their worst series since like the promo tournament when they qualified versus Millennium when they reverse sweeped them in season 4. Just really bad series, and like in game 5, that TP from Vizichachi was fucking hilarious.
Yeah. That was.
That's like the epitome of tilt. Like that is. Whew.
That was the shadow,
UL
right?
fans were calling that game was fixed after that. Like I swear it was. They were calling the game was fixed. Clearly, Visitachi had been paid off to do that TP.
UL has fans.
I know, it's surprising.
It's kind of
Jesus Christ.
a little off topic, kind of a little bit. This like Spice's roster's been together since summer 2016. Do you guys think they're gonna switch it up?
I don't think we should, honestly.
I don't think so. But then again, didn't you guys hear about Spice moving to NA?
Possibly.
The
Yeah.
rumors?
Yeah, I heard the
So-
rumors. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
so
I think
yeah.
Space or Misfits will. Like I it's gonna be one of the two will go. I can't see Rat EU letting go of Fnatic in G2.
Now I have a question. What happens to the players? Does that mean they drop players because they can't have over the import limit?
Yeah, they would. They'd have to. Organization
Yeah.
ultimately. They'd have
That's
to. Do
horrible.
It. Yeah.
Yeah. The organization will have to ditch them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like Splice is a very I'm not sure about the finances of Splice, but they have like a solid group of players that if they just had coaching, they'd be doing way better. I have no idea who they put on that team to make it better.
I even think like Yamato Cannon did a really good job being their coach, and he does a really good job of making a team like 4th place, which is like it sounds really bad, like if you put it that way, but to make 5 people, like, he did the exact same thing on Rokat, and even though like with Vitality didn't quite get there, they definitely had some promising games, and if they kept the same roster, they might, even if they upgrade Joko, they might be able to do better in spring. Splice is always going to be kind of like a weird. Not Splice, sorry. Vitality will always be kind of a weird team, though.
Newsec, APM, best mid.
Newtek is very they're all Vander's really good. Like, they have a very talented team, but they have like super team syndrome almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cohesion isn't there.
Yeah.
It's basically solo queue prodigies. It happens.
Even like Cabochard was amazing on Gambit, and
Yeah, and then he just sort of seemed to have fallen like a wet noodle, pretty much.
Mhm.
What about the finals for you, Gauntlet? We had Fnatic versus H2K. A lot of people seem to have expected this to go to 5-game series. We'll start with you, Chill. What did you think of this?
Yeah, I think HTK had bad drafts this entire series. And even when they got a good draft, they just didn't execute it properly. I think that like the main problem for HTK, like doing this entire gauntlet, has been like Nuclear. He just hasn't performed up to the level he can. Like, he was good in the regular season, and the same thing happened in like spring. He's good in the regular season, then playoffs comes and he just, I don't know, chokes, I guess. And, like, in spring you can make the argument that it was his first playoffs ever, because it was on like Zbenu and they didn't do anything. So you can make an argument, it's his first playoffs, whatever, he'll do better next year. But like, he's been worse than he was in spring this entire tournament and playoffs. I think it's a bit unfair to put the entire blame on him, but like, you have to imagine what would have happened had Forgiven been there, instead of Nuclear, for example, and Vander. Like, I don't think Che is part of the problem. I think Che is really good, probably the best support in EU in my opinion, or at least second best. It's just that Fnatic played better overall. They also didn't tilt. Like, I think HTK was just done after game 1. I think there was no coming back from them. But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen to H2K after this event. Are they going to change any players, or maybe Probably gets coach of the split, it doesn't even go to Worlds. Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Fnatic played much better, had better drafts most of the time. And yeah, I think they deservedly sweep them 3-0.
What did you think of the series, Jason?
I don't know. I thought that Fnatic definitely were going to qualify. I didn't think they'd get upset twice, pretty much. I think they learned. Losing to Misfits was almost like a wake-up call. They were like, hey, we need to like fix our shit and perform. Because although Misfits are really good in a lot of aspects, there's still like a lot of young players. Like 3 out of 5 players are this is their first year of playing. So definitely have like that veteran status that they can use against them. So I don't know. I think that I definitely think the 3 best teams of EU are going to Worlds. So
Okay. What about you, Scott? What did you think of this?
It's H2K's bottom lane. Like I don't know, like they're just not like up to par for the communication issues they obviously put forth for the team. And like Fnatic just like mechanically steamrolled them. Like after game 1, like Yanko's tilted, and then the rest of the team just went after him. It was Dunzo. But at least H2K actually won the semifinal in a way when they beat H2K. So, there's that positive for them.
And what about you, Guardian? What did you think of the series between Fnatic and H2K?
I mean, from that series against Unicorns of Love with H2K, when Nuclear just flashed in for the damage on Samix and both of them died, like both AD carries died at the same time in that team fight, I knew that if Reckless was on a good day, he would just fucking Shrek Nuclear and Che in the bot lane, like just absolutely give H2K no hope. But to go on about H2K, I kind of hyped them up a bit in spring because like I thought that if a Korean bot lane could communicate with a European topside and mid, and they showed great results in spring, then I was confident that they could do really well in summer and make it to Worlds. But then again, I don't know what happened with Nuclear. He kind of fell apart from in between spring to summer. Like, don't get me wrong, like in spring, Nuclear was okay. In summer, he was a bit okay, but then towards the end of summer, like he just started falling off. I'm not sure what happened. He got brain lag or something like that, but definitely it wasn't his best performance. And yeah, I kind of wish Nuclear, or maybe I kind of just wish Nuclear never like had this just didn't because like I think they would have had a great chance of making Worlds, but I was still rooting for Fnatic in the end, and I didn't think it would be 3-0, at least 3-1. But yeah, Fnatic proved me wrong, and they came up with a good, they came up with that motivation from losing to Misfits, and I think that's what they needed, that last push to actually qualify into the World Championship and prove to everyone else around the world that they're still alive and the dream is still alive for.
So what you also need to tell me is Forgiven's comment at the end of a series was right. Nuclear is the worst ADC he's ever seen.
I mean, I wouldn't say if he's the worst ADC if you got fucking Toaster and Origin in season 6 or some shit.
I mean, obviously it's an exaggeration because Nuclear was one of like the shining lights of Spenu.
Oh yeah.
Along with like Sasan and maybe Flawless when he was playing his specific champion. But yeah, if you're gonna have communication issues, you should probably go for someone that played on a better team than freaking Spenu. I mean, come on.
Water boy.
You probably could have gone for like Fury or something. Like Fury played in like LCK proper like for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
And he's doing very well in LSPL from as far as I know. So that probably would have been a better pickup.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was going to move on to Stress even the ELCS.
That's exactly what I was going to do.
yeah, Stress moving on to even the ELCS. How do y'all feel about this? What was all your thoughts on Stress? We'll start with you, Guardian. Stress is the Welsh guy.
Yeah, I mean, I woke up with a tweet saying that he left. That I think this is going to be a problem for ELCS if they do end up split into the 4 regions because they're going to be lacking short of caster talent. And I mean, if this 4 region thing is coming true, then that means next year we'll have a lot of rookie casters in the real big scene, so I don't know how that's going to turn out. I don't know how people's going to react to that. Maybe people just like, either support them or they'll just completely just shit on them because saying how they're new, they don't know about anything about the scene and all that, and they're not familiar. And I think that the community just in general, they don't, just for me, in my opinion, like I don't think they like to accept new casters who they're not familiar with. And I think Stress leaving the ELCS is going to be a big change in terms of the casting talent, and I'm not sure where he's going, but yeah, I mean, I just read about it this morning, so it's still a bit new.
He did comment saying he was leaving Riot as well, just keep it up.
Oh, is he leaving Riot?
Yeah, he's not working for Riot anymore, so he's not going to do anything to do with League broadcasting.
Well then,
he's gonna go work on Overwatch, Kerry. Join our boy
Monty boys.
Let's go Overwatch League. Scott, what was your opinion on Stress? If you have one,
I think it's a sign of like the short-term troubles to come. I mean, like Europe's always been good for talent because our player base is always high, even compared to Korea. So our solo queue is like the second best after Korea. But Stress leaving is just a sign that like people just don't have faith anymore. and I don't think Riot really cares enough, and
Mhm.
the lack of faith combined with Riot just not putting forth the extra effort. Like short term, EU is going to be in a pretty rough spot, like even more rough than it's been like last year or this year.
Mhm.
So it's rather unfortunate that, and he was really talented, which is really unfortunate. So we'll have to see how that moves forward.
What about you, Jason? What do you think of Stress Haven?
So let's go back to 2014
Mhm.
when Joe and D-Man left. And
Mhm.
I thought that, they were probably the two best casters in the EU, like at that
Mhm.
point in time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I thought that would be like a big wake up call for Riot and be like, oh shit, we're losing two people that were like defined part of our game. Like they're known for casting our game at this point, and you think they would have had like a better understanding that this could happen again, and they'd
Mhm.
find some almost like a challenger league for developing casters better. Like casting once a week for challenger games isn't really enough for what people actually need, and like even for EU, they just kept like medic. They made him a caster in EU like for like two or 3 weeks into the LCS split this year. It's like he is very talented. He definitely deserved it. Like he's probably, I'd say, other than Deficio, he's the best caster in EU. But
Mhm.
they just they're gonna be screwed. Especially, I think it's all but confirmed that four regions thing is happening. And as it is now, half the time I don't even like listening to half the EU casters. So they'll
Yeah.
definitely be having a big problem. Like even people like to watch the games on mute. Like people will say like, "Oh, I don't like this caster. I'll just mute it." So I don't think it'll impact it that much, but it definitely it'll stop EU from growing, which is definitely a big problem.
And if I might add, like back when like Joe and D-Man left, they were really popular casters, probably like the most popular duo, like next to Monty and Doa for the OGN Legion. That should have been a wake up call, but I guess it just shows that Riot doesn't see as much like business because Riot is a business. They don't see as much business in EU as they see in NA because there just isn't as much investment. So I guess it's just on the back burner. EU is always on the back burner. Like when we were doing best of twos like last year, I mean,
Well,
it was a mess. It was a
that's
complete
something
mess.
that Riot EU decides, though. It's not like Riot NA and Riot EU are two different separate companies. They
But
chose.
NA just has any influence in what happens in EU.
So I don't know. I think it's a little bit. They made their own choices for. I'm sure that Riot gave them a proposal for what they're doing in North America, and they modified it slightly to fit what they thought would work better, which clearly didn't.
What about you, Joe? What did you think of Stress, and are you emotionally distraught by him even?
Not really. I think Stress as a caster was bland. Okay, like like I don't know how to say this. He's forgettable. Like he can cast, and I wouldn't care about him. He's like, okay, fine. You're a caster. You're okay. He did make a fair bit of mistakes as a color caster. But other than that, he was okay. Like he doesn't make me want to commit seppuku like when videos cast. Like I fucking hate videos. But like this is a problem that Riot has had since season 3. It's casters leaving due to bullshit reasons. Like, do you remember Jason Kaplan back from season 3? Do you know why he left Riot? Because he got drunk on a New Year's Eve stream. He got drunk, he shaved his head, and he shat on Riot. Like straight up shat on Riot on his stream. Never cast the league after that. And you have D-Man and Joe Miller who left. Joe got a job at ESL as like editor-in-chief. And D-Man chased the pussy. Chased the pussy, and then after half a year they broke up. So good decision there, my friend. And now you're casting Overwatch or some shit. That was a good choice. And then I think Pulse left, which I don't think anybody cares. I think that was a good decision because Pulse was really bad.
It was a good move for Pulse to do that. To be fair.
Yeah, good move for the viewers as well. Fucking
Yeah.
hell. Like Pulse's problem, he just has an annoying voice, like a really annoying voice. It's like LS with 10 times more helium. Like a very annoying voice when it comes to casting. And then Crepo left because he moved the blanket. Now we have Stress. so yeah, that's like 6 casters that have left EU LCS, and like EU is left with 2 color casters who are Deficio and Vedius, and yeah, Vedius, holy shit.
I think Deficio is like one of the best casters in the world, but other than that, EU has like probably the worst casters of any region.
I mean,
out of any major region. I don't really know OPL casters that but who watches OPL, right?
It will truly be a tragedy the day Deficio leaves.
Yeah, the day Deficio leaves.
Man,
maybe
Deficio goes to NA.
can afford it, Yeah, I
And
can
that'll
say.
be a signal of the end times, like for sure.
Yeah.
I think people, like, in general, are like more receptive of casters if you aren't a complete retard, like Vedius is. Like, dude has to put in a meme. If he doesn't put like meet his quota of 1 meme per minute, I think he just implodes. He like implodes.
He's like EU freak.
No, he's worse than Freak. I can tolerate Freak to an extent, but like Vedius makes me want to kill myself and then light myself on fire somehow. It's like you have people like Medic and Dracos who are well received by the community because they're not fucking cringy. You know, they come in, they do their job. They come in, do their job, they do their job well. They don't try to make memes. Stop making memes. Like, when Vedius talks about the game, he's actually tolerable. Too bad he doesn't fucking do that. He'd rather talk about, like, Game of Thrones or some shit and talk about the game. Like, he wasn't a problem. They need new casters. I don't know where they're gonna get him. Maybe Joe Miller and D-Man come back, but I doubt it.
To be honest, I actually, whenever I heard Stress was even, I had trouble thinking of a series I can remember him cast, honestly. Like, I had to go look up a series he casted because I couldn't remember anyone recently. I was like, he's been riding the back burner for a while. Maybe he hasn't casted a game in a long time. Like, I couldn't
Casted
think.
finals.
Yeah, but I couldn't remember if he entered that. That's the thing. Like, if it was like how bad it was, I just couldn't remember who he was.
The only reason I remember is because because everyone was complaining about it. Pretty much.
Yeah. Maybe we should. We'll move on to the NA gauntlet then. You know, a region of better cast and talent apparently, and superior imports. You know, not
superior. Yeah, they do have better imports. That's the Euro.
So, who wants to start in the NA gauntlet? Who wants to? Go ahead.
I was hoping for FlyQuest to like meme power their way to Worlds, but unfortunately, all I got was them 3 sweeping my boy Sunday, who underperformed alongside his incompetent fucking teammates. Like, for real, strippers to go. Like, oh my, it was really sad. I don't know about you guys, but what are your thoughts on the FlyQuest and Dignitas series?
I'm gonna put it in perspective. The last episode, I made a meme. Wait, none of us mentioned FlyQuest to get free, and I sort of joked that FlyQuest would get free. I'm not gonna say that I'm a prophet, but if I joke about it, it's gonna happen. I'm just gonna put it out there. I didn't think I thought Dignitas would win, honestly, but I thought it would be close. I didn't think like they looked anywhere near as in shape as they were. I don't think they were anywhere near as strong as they were after they got smacked around by who was it? Who did they lose to again before Gauntlet? CLG,
CLG,
yeah. After losing to CLG, I was not too impressed by them. So, yeah. What about you, Joe? What did you think about the first series?
I want to know how did Dignitas manage to beat C9? Like, especially with like Shrimp in the jungle. Dude's a fucking trash can, a walking trash can. Like, oh man, he's such a bad jungler. Like, the only reason, as I said before, he's on the team is because he's Saint's drinking buddy. Nice nepotism there. I think FlyQuest played well above everyone's expectations. I think every lane performed well, especially I think Balls, he stepped up pretty massively. Like, he held his own versus Sunday, for the most part. And as for Dignitas, I don't know. I just think Shrimp is horrible. Like, watching Sunday having to play with Shrimp makes me really, really sad. And I hope he gets out of Dignitas and goes back to Korea as fast as possible. It's like, oh man, Shrimp is so bad, and Dignitas' bot lane also wasn't anything like to write home about. Like, if you get outlaned by Walter elimination, you got a problem, a serious problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, FlyQuest played pretty well, much better than people expected to. And I guess you could say that Dig underperformed, but I don't know. I don't think they're a particularly good team. I don't even know how they qualified for playoffs because they, like, apart from beating C9, they looked really bad, like really bad.
You know, like, Shrimp just reminds me of Eve from, like, 2015 Samsung Galaxy.
Oh, don't mention 2015 Samsung, Jesus, please.
Like,
oh my
like,
god, dude.
Like, you're stealing paychecks, please. Just, Sunday is already, like, oh no.
Don't mention Eve, oh my god. Trash asshole.
Since Guardian's been set on the PDSE trip, you can see his thoughts on the second PDSE trip, you know?
You mean the FlyQuest series?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Wild Turtle played anything but his actual style. Like, people say, okay, Wild Turtle overperformed or went beyond expectation, but I think that Wild Turtle just simply played his style, like the one that he doesn't have to be caged in. Like, you know, in TSM how there's like this misconception of him not being able to flash forward, being just caged by his other teammates. I think that Wild Turtle just played his style, just like completely, you know, High just said, okay, you play your style, and then we'll back you up with it. And I think that went pretty well for him, and he was an absolute beast in that series against Dig. But then again, if you go up against Shrimp, like as Shrimp said, you'll be a beast anyway, because Shrimp is actually just fucking trash. And I think watching Someday was really, I don't know how to put it, man. After that, his Jarvan was just, yes, he was okay. He was good. He tried to like 1v9, but then, I really do feel bad for Someday. Keen, the OCE talent right there, he's failed me once again. He's never, you know, like met my expectations. He's just okay. He's just that one guy that's like in middle of bottom teams, just sweeping in paychecks like in a LCS and never actually performing that well when it actually matters. Yeah.
You see, Guardian, your mistake is placing faith in OC talent to do well.
Dude, I'm gonna place my faith in Fire, dude. What?
Whoa,
It just reminds me of the days when you wake up and you can't find your other sock. It's just like,
To me, Keen is that
just
mid.
going-
Sorry.
you're just going through the day with one sock. That's Keen on Dignitas. That's Keen on any team.
Keen is
Tragic.
the mid that's like, so like Oriana's mid. Time to learn Oriana counters because
Yeah,
like, that's
swear
always
to
his
God,
play
that
style.
guy.
That's all he does is just like, yep. So instead of actually playing what everyone else is good at, I'm gonna do something different and just hope it works for me by cheesing them. And that's kind of like, eh.
Did anyone actually watch the split where he went for Challenger of Apex?
No, I watched him on Curse Academy. I didn't watch Apex.
On Apex, he played Graves mid, AP Nautilus mid, AD Nautilus with Feather of Battle.
So he kind of was dead.
No,
Yeah,
okay, no. Listen, like Graves mid used to be viable when you could just stack lifesteal and just tank entire teams with your lifesteal. It used to be viable for maybe like a month, but other than that, he's like a complete clown. I swear,
yeah.
he's trolling.
The guy is pretty insane.
He's trying to push the boundaries of what you can pick in a competitive game. Like it's insufficient.
before Rat take you off the stage for trolling, you know.
So
Team Dark incarnated as a single fucking player. I swear.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that Dig did well from the time they signed Adrian. When they beat Cloud9, I figured that was like, yeah, they're actually going to be a decent team. And then they got steamrolled by CLG. Like, I was watching that game and I was like, this is Dig underperforming on stage more than CLG. Like, CLG played well, but I think it was Dig being bad more than CLG being good. So I figured when they went back to the LCS studio, they do a lot better, and they have a serious. That's who I was hoping that would qualify as third seed, but they clearly have underlying issues that did not work. Like you guys were right. Like Shrimp is definitely not the kind of jungler I'd prefer to have on my team. Like, so I don't know. I was pretty. I was just pretty surprised that they went from so bad to so good to so bad again in like 9 weeks.
That's what happens when the marijuanas finally start to clog up your house. You know, when novel players start getting affected by it.
So,
Because after watching some days J4 play, I'm pretty sure he was definitely guarding some secrets from Adrian.
and then I'd like to, obviously just to move on to the next series. CLG against FlyQuest was FlyQuest played better than I thought they would. I thought the meeting Dig was just Dig choking again. It was a lot closer than I thought they were. Definitely improved a lot. And I was overall happy that CLG made it over them because I figured CLG or C9 would do a better job at Worlds than FlyQuest would. Because FlyQuest are pretty much at their skill ceiling, I feel. Where CLG theoretically could improve a lot. Like, even though Armor Gold is pretty bad, he could get a lot better. And like a month boot camp in Korea would definitely help that. But I'll have to see. What about you guys? What do you think?
Well, CLG versus who was it again?
Versus
CLG
FlyQuest.
versus FlyQuest. I definitely think FlyQuest are like at their limit. Like, there's no way you could milk more performance out of those players. Like, unless you're getting an industrial fucking compressor and you're literally squeezing that fucking last bit of talent out of her, I can't see them doing any better. I was surprised at how well they actually did. I was kind of just expect them just to roll over and die, honestly, or CLG. Whenever he got Aurelion Sol, I was kind of like, well, this game's pretty over. Who he's Aurelion Sol is pretty fucking good, but Moon played well for the first time in his career. Took him how many seasons? 2 seasons, 3 seasons maybe. Riding many benches to finally get there, but he's finally a big boy jungler now. He finally can gank gains and path correctly and do things. So yeah, I'm glad to see CLG won the series though. If FlyQuest had won, I'd be kind of worried about NA.
Wait, okay, just for quick clarification, Shrimp takes up an import slot, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dignitas Cacao, let's do this.
Okay. Yeah. That would be good. I was surprised that Chaser.
Boys!
I think that someone was saying like when Chaser left that there was a clause in his contract that caused him to get paid like nothing if he wasn't a starter.
What? He got oh my god.
I think that's what happened. Because Chaser definitely they benched Chaser for a reason. Like they chose Shrimp over Chaser. It wasn't like him leaving. It was them wanting to play Shrimp over him because I guess like he's the big spoon or something. I don't know, but
St. Vicious.
I don't know, but yeah, like they could definitely have had they could have had almost any jungler they really wanted. Like they got Philadelphia. No, is it Philadelphia? Who's the 67ers? 67. I don't know basketball. I'm worst.
76ers?
76ers, that's it, yeah. Philadelphia. Okay. Sure. Anyway, yeah, they could have had anyway, but they got Shrimp, so enjoy.
Could have bought Rainover,
Hopefully they pick up like a Cal or Rainover or something. They need a jungler that actually has half a brain.
Realistically, I don't see anybody buying Rainover because his contract's another year, and if it's actually as much money as it is, no one will be able to buy it out.
Yeah, that's true, actually, yeah. It's pretty good money.
Like, regardless, I think like Team Liquid is going to start Dardock over him. Unless they get like a second way, like a 2 roster kind of swap where they have 2 imports that rotate in and out with Rainover and Dardock will go on for when they want an NA like non-player. I don't know. But
just as a quick off-topic thing, actually, didn't Steve put like a very cryptic tweet whenever people were asking about Piglet's resident status?
Yeah, he did do a cryptic tweet. He said that it's up for debate or something like that. Like it seems like residency rules could be changed, but I don't know. Just don't talk about that team right now.
Yeah.
Finish off this series just so we can just kind of wrap up, get down to the NA and EU, move on to next part of the show.
I'll quickly we'll just quickly cover what people thought. Chill, what do you think of the series quickly?
I just think that CLG has better individual players than FlyQuest. If FlyQuest reached its peak, and like the only advantage FlyQuest had in that matchup was like jungle because Omar Gold. But yeah, I think it was pretty good. Pretty good performance from CLG. I think their Sean was really good in all the games. I don't know why CLG picked Mundo. I guess they learned from Brazil, but it worked out for them. So hey, more power to them. But yeah, I think just individually CLG is a much better team than FlyQuest.
Yeah.
And what about you, Guardian? What do you think about
Is this about
CLG versus FlyQuest?
Do Cloud9
okay,
after them.
Yeah.
All right. I think I kind of expected CLG to win, but deep down I wanted FlyQuest to win. But then again, they kind of got outplayed by themselves. Like they threw leads, and I don't know what he was doing in Kolki. He was just like fucking Valkyrie into CLG at one point in the tower, and I think they kind of fell past slow and they just started tilting. But overall, CLG did pretty well, especially with Omar God as a jungler in that series. And moving on to C9 against CLG, I didn't doubt that C9 wouldn't make it. Like I always thought that they'll make it against CLG, and I think it was in Game 4 or something where Omar was like legit just trolling the fuck out of Contracts and Impact when he was invading the red side jungle. He was invading for like about a minute and 20 seconds, and then he went to blue buff and he got stolen by Impact. So he just completely fucked up his own jungle pathing and start. So I don't know if he was tilted at that point, but CLG as a team in that series, they did play really well. Like that, I think the Sneaky and 6A would definitely be my MVPs of that series. Disregarding the ADC bias, but like just because they did as much as they can, like in team fights, they try to clean up and all that things. And I think that game 4 could have been either's game. Like it could have either been CLG's or Cloud9, just purely because of how the ADCs were playing in that late game team fights and skirmishes. But I'm kind of happy that Cloud9 made it so Direwolves gets an easy group now. So
Moving on then. What did you think of the C9 series then, Jason?
I think whoever won Game 4 out of CLG versus well, I mean, if CLG would have won Game 4, because theoretically Cloud9, if they won Game 4, they would have won the series. I don't think Cloud9 would have been able to bounce back from that game, and CLG would have won. I thought CLG had some weird comps. I thought Sneaky, I'm not really. I think Sneaky's super overrated. I thought he definitely played the best on the team in that series, and he pretty much like 1v5'd that entire last game.
Yep.
I think Cloud9 is probably the best team to be 3rd seed, although I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't make it at a play-in stage, but that's about it.
What did you think, Soph?
I'm actually glad that Cloud9 won because Jensen's a great addition to the mid lane pool at Worlds, which is just amazing. And I think CLG would have been a complete joke with Omar Gold. I mean, at Worlds it would have been horrible. Like he's not that good even by NA standards, and just putting him right on the world stage after like 30 games played, that's a complete joke. But yeah, Sneaky performed very well, probably the best of any player in that series. Kudos to him. If Jensen can play like he usually plays and Sneaky maintains somewhat that level of form, they'll definitely get through play-ins, and might take a game or two off in group stage.
Impact Worlds buff.
And then there's Impact Worlds buff.
What did you think, Joe, of that last series? Yeah.
I'm happy C9 won because my boy Reapered is going to Worlds. That's really all that matters. I think this game, or this series, and this whole gauntlet has been a bit of a fiesta, honestly. Like, especially this final, which had a bunch of like, what the fuck are these teams doing moments.
Yeah.
They were just like downright bizarre. Like in Game 4, I think CLG should have won that game. And there was like a fight near mid lane where like Dershawn gets a great taunt on Sneaky. Near like tier 2 turret in the mid lane, and I'm like, okay, this is it. CLG won this fight. And I look at fucking Stixay, dude is autoing a fucking Galio. He's like chasing a Galio all the way up to like red buff or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Just kill the fucking Xayah. That was really bad. I didn't think Stixay performed really good, especially in that Game 4. Like, just bad team fighting presence from him.
Yeah.
Sneaky played really well though, especially on the Xayah. He knew what he had to do. He had put out a lot of damage, and yeah, I think C9 is definitely the better team. And I'm happy Reaper is going to Worlds again.
Okay, well, we'll move on to the main topic of this episode in the play-in discussions. So who would like to start on play-ins? Who would like to start?
Should we go like group by group and just give our predictions?
Yeah.
Or...
So
Okay.
just I can start off. For the play-in draw, I think for first seeds alone, like World Elite, I don't see any way they don't make it out of here. Like World Elite they were definitely like shoo-ins, one of the people that could have won LPL Summer. So I was pretty like I can't see any. I think China's going to be very strong at Worlds. I think they'll definitely be the second best region. I would be very shocked if they don't make it at a play-in draw. I think Cloud9, Fnatic, and Hong Kong Attitude all could lose, and they could be upset by either Gambit or gotta make sure Fenerbahce. Either of those two teams, I feel like have a good chance of taking one of the top spots, and I would love to see Gambit get into Worlds.
Okay.
I don't think any of the Latin America North or South look good. I'm not like Brazil maybe could take a game off somebody, but I don't see like even like last year when who was it took a game off EDG in Worlds?
Ints.
Yeah, it's Ints. Yeah, I don't even see something like that big that happening in this play-in stage. So I think it'll be LPL for sure making it, and then probably NAU, and then either Gambit or Turkey making it through. A big thing depends on the first place versus second place seeding for the advancement tournament, because like let's say Gambit is going against possibly Cloud9 or EU, which is like actually a really good matchup for them, and then like it's always first versus second, so like I think that will be pretty interesting, and it shouldn't be just like compared to the last couple of years with wildcard teams where it's just like, okay, they're just getting stomped all game long. So doesn't matter.
What about you, Cho? What do you think of the plans?
Do you want me to do like a group A or
just go through the groups if you don't mind. Just go through them. Who do you think will?
I think like in Group A, W should 6-0. Like they're just the strongest team in this entire play-in tournament. They should just qualify pretty easily. Gambit should be the second seed. They're really good, and if you listen to what Reckless said in the post-game lobby, they are like a middle-tier LCS team in EU, so they should do fairly well. I think people are sleeping a bit on Align. I think they're like the best team from LAN, like during the Rift Rivals between Brazil, LAN, and LAS. They're trying to carry their shitter teammates from LAN because their other team is pretty bad. So I do think they're good. It's just that are good relative to the rest of the wildcard regions. They just got a bit of an unlucky group, so it should be W and Gambit from Group A. Then in Group B, it should be Cloud9 first seed pretty easily, 6-0 as well. Or however many games there are, I don't fucking know. They're just the best team here individually. Just you don't have to look at macro or whatever, just look individually. They're the best team here. Team 1 should take the second seed. They're a bit young and inexperienced in that sense. So maybe they choke and Direwolves takes the second seed, but I think OC is a bit of a meme, so I don't think that should happen. Direwolves should finish last. Maybe take a game of Team 1, maybe.
The last one, yeah. Sorry. Fnatic group.
Group C Fnatic should also clean sweep the group. They got a really free group, like young generation. It's like what, Vietnam, right?
Yep, Vietnam.
Yeah, the GPL is a pretty bad region, or Vietnam. Like if you watch the Rift Rivals, it was basically Gigabyte Marines trying to carry Mineski and Ascension Gaming, who were really bad. They didn't win a game that entire tournament. So like apart from Gigabyte Marines, I don't think that Vietnam is particularly good. And then you have KLG, which is from LAS, who's probably the worst wildcard region alongside OCE. So yeah, there should be a free group for Fnatic. And then Group D is actually really interesting. Like I'm not sure how strong Hong Kong Attitude is. I just think that like LMS as a region is weaker than it was the previous years. And like even previous years when like Flash Rolls and HQ were strong, the rest of the LMS was a bit of a meme. So I'm unsure how strong they are. I think Fenerbahce could take the first seed, definitely. Especially with Frozen, who should be probably one of the best mid laners here.
Yep.
And then you have Rampage, or a bit of a question mark. Like the LJL did win the Rift Rivals event versus GPL, but that's like mainly because the rest of GPL is shit apart from Gigabyte Marines. Yeah. So they maybe get the second spot, but like it really depends on how HKA turn up. So I'm gonna say like Hong Kong Attitude and Fenerbahce make it through, and if like Hong Kong Attitude is particularly good, then Fenerbahce and Rampage can make it up.
Okay, and Guardian, what do you think?
Starting with Group A, I think that World Elite and Gambit would, just take the first two seeds for the best of 5 later on. I do sleep on Lion Gaming because I don't watch that region, so I don't want to comment much about it. But I think that I think World Elite will take the first seed, and Gambit will take the second seed. And then for Group B, let me find Group B. Group B,
C9, Brazil, and then your EMU people.
EMU people. Okay, Group B. Undoubtedly, I think Cloud9 will take the first seed. Now comparing One and Direwolves, I think honestly, just not being biased for the OC right now, but Direwolves can take the second seed more than I like to say about One, just because like Direwolves has improved much more significantly against during Rift Rivals and Summer Split, in my opinion. But then again, it's OC, and the level of talent there is not as great as these other regions. And I know that CBLOL has a better talent pool and just better teams overall in general, and historically have done better than OC internationally. But I think if OCE wants to make it, wants the chance to get to group stage, I think Direwolves is the team to take it. And moving to Group C, sorry, what was Group C again? I can't find anything.
GPL and LAS.
Shit, Fnatic Fnatic will undoubtedly take the first seed in that. They got a free group, and if they can't make it past group stage, then I can't imagine what's going to happen later on. With all these communities just being sold first. But Fnatic will take the first seed, and YG is from LMS, right? I mean GPL. Yeah. Okay. During Rift Rivals, it's true that Gigabyte Marines is dragging the other two teams across the finish line, because Sin Gaming, another OPL team, legit sweeped out Mineski and the other GPL team during Rift Rivals, and then Gigabyte Marines had to 1v3 against the other teams. They just completely reverse sweep OPL, and that was actually amazing how good Gigabyte Marines is. So I think that GPL is a trash region except Gigabyte Marines. Like, they're the only thing that actually makes GPL even relevant at all this year, just because of how they perform in MSI and how they did in Rift Rivals. Although I think that Gigabyte Marines could have won referrals, even though just because I think they lost just because they were tired of having to carry the other two dead teams. Now moving to group. For Group C. Wait, where's Killer G from?
Latin America South.
I don't know who'll take group. I don't know who'll take seed 2 for Group C, but I know that Fnatic will take seed 1. Now moving to Group D, HKA and I think Fenerbahce will definitely take seed 1. Now talking about Rampage a bit, I did watch a lot of LJL more than previous years, and I think that Rampage will take the number 2 seed. Not basing this off referrals or anything, just because I think they're a pretty solid team, and I'm not completely sold on Hong Kong Attitude whatsoever this year. I think they can do some upsets. They can definitely take some games off Rampage and Fenerbahce maybe, but I definitely think that Fenerbahce will take seed 1, and then Rampage from the LJL will take the number 2 seed for Group D.
What about you, Scav? What do you think? What's your predictions for each group?
Okay, so starting at Group A, I still think that regardless of how W finish, they're probably the best Chinese team. Given a month, I think they'll definitely return back to form. Hopefully, they'll get to Group D and clock TSM, so I could die happy. On top of World Elite, I'll probably give to Gambit, because they have players that are experienced internationally on top of the world stage.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I'm a huge fan of Diamond. He has the same first name as me. Love the guy. For Group B, Cloud9, of course. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Cloud9's a heavyweight compared to everyone else. But other than them, for sure, Direwolves, because I think Schernfire is probably potentially on the level of Levy in terms of being a wildcard talent. I mean, he performs well in Korean solo queue, and a lot of the players on Direwolves seem to be pretty confident. I'm not sure if it's borderline arrogance, but I take it that they're preparing and they know what they're getting into. For Group C, Fnatic, once again, clear heavyweight. They're playing against teams that have no idea what they're up against. And then for the second, young generation, because they have the legendary top laner with the greatest name of all time, Montaraya. I don't know what the hell you pronounce it. But that is the extent of my knowledge in regards to that. Just I saw his name and I was like, you know what? There you go. I'll predict you. So for Group D, Fenerbahce and HK Attitude, Frozen is just probably the best player. One of the best players in general in play-ins. He's really talented. I've always been on the Frozen train. So I'd put Fenerbahce first, and then HK Attitude. They just play against better teams on average compared to Chaos Latin Game? No, it's not Chaos Latin Gamers. It's what's the other team in that group?
Rampage.
Rampage. Yeah. Japan's never accomplished anything. They're just I don't know what's wrong with Japan.
Too many waves.
Too many waves, yeah.
The big thing is Japan can play on the Korean server. They could have improved.
There's no Japanese player that's in Challenger. They're at most Masters.
Really?
And Masters is not enough to play. For example, in CJ Antis, Candy is only Masters, and Temp fucking ravaged him. It was actually sad.
Is
my
Move
prediction
on that
for...
team? Isn't
Yeah,
Move
He's
on
on
that team?
Fenerbahce.
Oh, he's on
Move.
Fenerbahce.
No, he's on Fenerbahce, yeah.
Yeah, Fenerbahce. Yeah, Move and Frozen are just they don't belong. They're just too good for the fucking level they're playing at, especially Frozen.
My predictions actually, I'm gonna stick WE first in Group A, and GMB will be will come second. I can't see Gans actually beating them at all. Honestly, I don't think WE will drop a game if they prepare well enough and they don't disrespect and give into the Chinese Fiesta style. Because I get the feeling Gambit will be able to take the Chinese Fiesta style, being a Russian region, C9 will come on top. I don't think it'll be as close. I don't think it'll be that dominant, honestly. I can't see. Apparently, there's talk Reaper might not be there for the playing stage due to visa issues. So I don't think we'll be as strong. I don't think our draft will be as good, and I think we'll run into a couple more problems of certain players maybe choking a bit or getting a bit overconfident going against lower tier mid laners. I'm not going to say any names. Jensen getting a bit overconfident. I think Direwolves will come second. Now, I was going to stick Brazil second because the national animal of Brazil is a jaguar, and I don't see how OC could handle a Jaguar if they can't handle an Emu.
You
But-
fucking won't, mate.
So I'm gonna stick Darrow second, just simply because what do you call Darrow's jungle again? Sorry, I can't.
Shinfire.
Shenfire.
The god of the jungle, dude.
I'm banned a bit into his hype. I do think he's quite good. I think he will do pretty well. I think he could definitely cut contracts at least in a couple of games. So yeah, I'm gonna stick C9 first and Darrow second. See, there's part of me that wants to stick Fnatic second because I just know, right? See, after that Misfit series, I just know the cockiness will be there, the confidence will be there.
Yep, agreed.
And I just know they will completely disrespect one of these wildcard teams and will fuck up and end up second. So I'm gonna stick Fnatic first still anyway, and then GPL second. I don't really like. I don't think LAS is that good. I don't think we'll do well pretty much. And I'm gonna stick Turkey first in group. I don't know how you pronounce your team's name, so I'm not gonna try. Don't want to risk it for a biscuit. I'm gonna stick Turkey first and then LMS second. Do we want to get some predictions then for the Worlds group stage?
Can I just say something about Divals? Like, just to reiterate the OC point.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just hope that people don't actually sleep on OC. I will eat my words if they actually just end up shitting themselves in lanes.
Do you want to send me a
I'm
jersey?
prepared for that. I'm already prepared for that scenario where they just complete tilt and then they just go 0 whatever how many games they have to play. But Schönfire is, I will say this right now, Schönfire is a better individual jungler than Contracts.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say by far.
So, someone quote that. Someone quote that. Stick on. Do you want to bet money on the Guardian?
I wouldn't bet money, but individually, I
You
think Shen
wouldn't
is a
bet
better
money?
jungler. Yeah, I know that somehow OC will tilt themselves. I'm prepared for this scenario. I'm actually prepared, but I'm just gonna hype them up a bit. Shen is a better jungler than the Contracts individually.
I would actually.
Team wise. Oh, sorry. Yes, Lev.
No, I'd actually agree with Guardian that Schönfire is like more like a prodigy talent. He's like he's by far one of the best players in like OCE in general.
Yeah.
Probably the best. So like I could definitely see him like competing, if not exceeding Contracts, especially since Contracts hasn't been doing as well as his initial split.
Schönfire got 3 challenger accounts in the top 3. 1, 2, and 3 was all Schönfire. Okay, before you guys say OC's is trash challenger ladder, yes, I do agree it is trash. But the fact that he's able to maintain that for 2 months straight of getting top 3 on all 3 accounts just playing jungle back in 2016, I think that's a pretty big accomplishment just for an individual like himself. And I think I wouldn't say Fantix, the mid laner for Dyrus, is any better than Jensen. I think he will do neutral or either get clapped by Jensen, but he wouldn't do any better. But I think the bot lane is what you want to watch. King and Destiny on a good day in Dyrus, they can actually, I wouldn't say destroy, but they can put a big competition against Smoothie and Sneaky. I do believe that if King shows up on a really, really, really good day and he does his 2017 performance of spring and summer finals, Dyrus is definitely going to be definitely a number 2 contender. But if they do manage to show up on a good day, then I believe they can probably take number 1 seed. So yeah, someone just quote me on that, and I'll eat my words when they don't take number 1 seed.
Yeah, well, that will be quoted. Guardian, do you want to make a jersey bet on it?
I don't mind. But then again, Chippy's the top laner for Divals. He made a tweet to Impact saying he would destroy Impact. But I'm 100% sure Chippy's will be crying like a little bitch by the end of the day. I'm 100% sure he'll be crying. So yeah.
By the way, it's a double round robin, so they play 4 games, I think.
4 games. Okay. Yep. Nice.
Okay.
So, so basically, someone clip that and make sure Guardian gets stated words. Whenever OC get fucking smacked, fighting it through everyone. They'll probably be walking off stage. They'll walk off stage, walk into the trash can. The trash can will advance before them. Anyway, we'll move on to the Worlds group stage, right? Well, we'll start with you, Joe. What did you think of the draw from the group stage? Who's your favourites to come out of the groups?
I think Reggie paid some good money to a rookie.
Yeah.
And Noah as well for Immortals, considering how the draw went from NA. I think in Group A it's pretty clear. Like, irrelevant of whoever makes it in from the 3rd seed, I think SKT and EDG are going to take the 1st and 2nd spot respectively. I don't think HQ is particularly good. I think LMS is really weak this year. And HQ are not as good as they were the previous times they played at Worlds. So yeah, that's how the Group A should play out. Maybe if Fnatic gets in here, they can do something. I just don't think it's very likely. Group B depends on who gets in. I think if Fnatic gets into Group B, they can take the second seed for Immortals. I think they can match them pretty well. Gigabyte Marines is obviously a bit of a bomb. If you're not careful, you can step on it and screw yourself over.
Vietnamese in their minds.
Yeah, but this is like a group of strong top laners. You have Flame, you have Khan, and then you have fucking Archie, who played like support up until a few months ago. I don't know, man. Plus that dude's like 26.
I think he's playing support again.
No, he's playing top lane. I think for Gigabyte Marines this tournament. I just think that, and like especially if Soaz gets in, for example, from Fnatic, like Archie's going to be getting reamed up the ass the entire fucking event, in every single game. Yeah, I just think that like if Fnatic gets in, I think Longzhu and Fnatic can get out. But if it's like some other random wildcard team, then Longzhu and Immortals should take the first and second seed respectively. And I have an interesting group, Group C. I think it kind of sucks that you can get like first seed at MSI and then get a group like this. I think it's a bit unfortunate for G2. The biggest question mark here is how will G2 perform in a best of one? If G2 manage to solve their issues of being bad at best of ones, which I have faith in them to do, I think they can beat RNG and take the second seed. The problem is that RNG is probably the best Chinese team when it comes to best of ones. I think this is going to be really close for the second seed. The big question mark is Trick as well. Like, how will he perform? Will Aquaman show up? Or will he drown? Yeah, I want to say if G2 performs well, if they fix their best of one bullshit, which I think they should. They have experience now. They shouldn't be doing stupid shit like they did before. I think they could take the second seed over Royal. So I'm going to say Samsung first seed and G2 second seed. I'm not sure who can make it into Group C from the wildcard teams, but I don't think it particularly matters that much in this event. And then we have Group D, which will be Flash Wolves, Misfits, Team Solo Mid, and I assume WE, because that's the only group they can slot in, I think.
They can slot into Group 2.
Oh yeah, Group B as well. Okay. Well, I think that, like, as I said, LMS isn't particularly strong. Maple has been slumping quite a bit. Like, he was good at Rivals, but then after that he's been slumping quite a lot in his own region. I don't think that this, like, Flash Wolves are the easiest first seed you could have gotten if you're any other seed. I do think that, like, this should be an easy group for TSM if WE doesn't get in here. If WE doesn't get in, I think Misfits and TSM are going to make it through. TSM will take the first seed and Misfits second. Unless Flash Wolves improve massively during the bootcamp, I don't see them getting out. So if there is no WE, TSM first, Misfits second. If WE makes it in, WE first and Misfits second. Yeah, I think that's about it when it comes to my predictions.
We'll move on to you then, Jason. Do you want to take a prediction on who's going to come for each of your groups? Top two? Jason?
Yep. My mic was muted.
Oh.
Yeah, so Group A, I definitely think is like definitely the most cut and dry. Like, obviously it's gonna be SKT and EDG making it out. I don't think regardless, like, I really hope that, like, honestly, like with, it'd be interesting to see. Like, I hope that, like, EU or NA goes into the slot just for, like, the potential of, like, Gambit or, like, another team going into another like, gauntlet, because seeing Gambit lose to SKT and EDG would just be depressing over and over again. I can't see either of those teams not making it out. Group B is, like, pretty much just battle of second seed. I think this is most likely, like, just who can perform the best against the other teams. Like, no one's gonna beat Longzhu realistically. Like, I can't see Longzhu dropping more than 2 games, and even that's being, like, generous. So it really, like, based off the current standings, like, I definitely think that Immortals have a good chance if they perform like have been, because and someone said earlier, like, this is, like, the top lane pool. It's definitely true. Like, it'd be really cool to see, like, even, like, if Fnatic got in here, or even who's on the top laner for World Elite?
Um,
957.
957. Is he a carry? He's more of a tank player, isn't he?
he's a fucking madman. That's
He's both. He's a
that's all you
suitor.
can
Yeah,
say.
he's good.
Yeah, he is good.
Yeah.
That would be really cool to see. Like, I honestly hope that they get in this group, just because it would be like the group of death. Like, it would be like the most exciting group to watch for sure.
Mhm.
I can't see anybody beating Longzhu for first seed, but I definitely think any of like the third seeds and like IMT and Gigabyte Marines could all get second place. So
Yep.
it would be pretty cool to see that. I can't see RNG and Samsung not making out of this group like the same thing. Like, I think RNG are the best people in that group. I think they played really well. I think LPL has played a lot better this year than they have over the last couple of years.
Mhm.
And I think just coming with Uzi coming back, they've had like a really confident play style. And Samsung has not had a lot of confidence, and that will make them like have that upper edge almost. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I think RNG are gonna take first in their group, and then Samsung, and then G2, and then whoever makes it through. But I don't like. I honestly don't think it matters. Like the same as Group A. Just it's gonna be LCK and LPL making it through. And the Group D honestly is the most boring. Like it has like as Joe said, like LMS is definitely slumping, and then you have two like TSM. I don't know. They're just TSM. Watching them play at Worlds all the time is just somewhat frustrating because they just demolish NA and then just choke every year, so it's like not even fun to watch. And then Misfits, they're like my favorite European team to watch, so it'd be interesting to see them do well. But it's hard to see three rookies performing on an international stage. So if they can play like they did towards the end of summer, maybe I could see Misfits doing well. But based off how inconsistent they are, I don't know if they'll be able to make it out of groups.
What about you, Seth? What do you think?
Okay, so starting with Group A, like I think it's going to be SKT and EG, like just like everyone else, because literally this is my favorite group at Worlds because it has my favorite storyline. The teacher versus the master, Scout versus Faker. Like it's just, I love it because mid laners are my thing. Because I'm a mid laner.
I didn't realize that.
And you didn't realize? Okay, yeah, me too.
I meant Scout. I forgot Scout was on EDG. Like I knew he was on EDG, but like that's like actually like a sick storyline. I didn't even realize.
I do see, however, a chance like that if Cloud9 like gets into the group, or maybe AHQ can take games off EDG because they live and die by Scout. Scout is definitely their power player. He's definitely their best player by far. I'm not saying. I mean, iBoy has played 20 games in his entire career, and he's somehow in Worlds, and he's going up against SKT and like against more experienced ADCs, so it might be difficult for him. I don't know. On a side note, I think SKT needs to take Huni and Untara, and with Blank, because it's likely that Peanut's going to be severely out of meta. By the way that the 7.18 patch is looking like, I don't think Peanut will be in meta, and I don't think it's wise to take him. Now, moving on to Group B, I think it's going to be Longzhu. Longzhu's going to brutalize the group, and either Immortal / Fnatic. Fnatic, if they get seeded into the group, I feel they have overall better players in each position, and so as in like a playoff / world situation, always performs. So as on Origin in 2015 did very well. Longzhu just has too much talent across the board that's been consistent, survived high pressure situations, and they have good mental all around. Like they don't tilt. Like I don't think I'd say that any of the players on Longzhu I've seen just hard tilt, like Death style or Huni style. I wouldn't say I've seen it. Now, more importantly, like we have to talk about the best player in the tournament that's in Group B. Like it's the man himself, BDD, the best player by far. But other than that, there's also the Con versus Flame matchup, which I think is going to be one-sided in Con's favor, but it'll still be interesting nonetheless because it's a storyline. Because Flame, I don't know, they're basically the same style of. Flame is basically what Con is, but what Con is the future version of Flame, I guess, if you want to do it that way.
Yeah.
Now, for Group C, I think I have to disagree with Jason. I have to disagree with Jason because I think Samsung is definitely a higher quality team compared to RNG. They've definitely been slumping, but we're disregarding the fact that there's a month break between their last game and the first game they play within group stages, and they'll have time. They have the time and the resources to make sure that they'll be in form just like they were last year. I know last year they had more of an easier road to the finals, and they had a difficult group, but like the road to the actual finals themselves was quite easy. But they definitely put up quite the fight versus SKT. So I definitely put them over RNG. But RNG is an easy second. I mean, I think they're definitely the second best Chinese team after WE. They just have very good players in every position. MLXG is a bit inconsistent, but Jiahu and Uzi are just really good players, and the support Ming, or is it Ming?
Yeah, it's
Ming,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's
Ming.
from what I can tell, he's a solid shot caller. Obviously, he's not Mata tier, but he's doing it in perfect Chinese, so that's definitely an advantage. And last but not least, in Group D, I think it's going to be W and Flash Wolves, because I just think that, like, I don't know, like TSM just I know I have a bias against TSM, but it's been proven multiple times over and over again that both Bjergsen and Doublelift just do not perform on the international stage, and W has players that have performed. GA at MSI was probably the second best mid in my opinion, like if not, and he was on the same level as Perks in my opinion. GA performed very well, especially on the Lucian pick, and I really hope to see his Twisted Fate for obvious reasons, no bias, because he was a Twisted Fate one trick pony, like someone I know. And for Flash Wolves can beat any team, can lose to any team, but I still think they'd come out ahead.
And then on to you, then, Guardian. What is your predictions, Guardian?
I mean, why the fuck is SKT playing against 2Gs for? Like, why the fuck Group A rigged, dude? They're just gonna exchange information together. They're just gonna fix match again, dude. It's gonna be all that meme fiesta again. Okay,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
first of all, I think SKT will definitely take number 1 seed, and I do agree with what Slav said about the teacher and student thing. That'll be pretty fun to watch because I can't wait to see Scout get fucking slapped around by Faker again. And then I think the top lane, Mouse against whoever SKT is playing, it's gonna be okay. Mouse is definitely not the best top laner, but then if you got Clear Love camping top, then it could go either way, really. But I think that SKT will take number 1 seed and EDG will take number 2 seed. Also agree with Cho how LMS has been underperforming this year, and I think AHQ will just get slapped around. I didn't watch a lot of AHQ games more as opposed to Flash Wars games, but I don't think AHQ will are contenders for any seeds at all. Maybe okay, let me take that back. Maybe number 2 seed, but I don't think so. Like not as a big percentage. And whoever gets in Group A from the planes, they'll probably do maybe some upsets to HQ only. Maybe you wouldn't call that an upset, but they'll take some games off HQ. But that's just about it. SKT and EDG for Group A, and Group B. I'm actually really looking forward to Group B. Top lane. Okay, the Khan and Flame matchup. Again with what Slav said, like the old Flame and the new Flame. I think the battle of the Ignites will be pretty cool just to watch Flame and Khan just battle each other on top lane. However, I think mid lane matchup is also what I'm looking forward to. Pobelter and BDD. Pobelter is a smart player, yes. And BDD is also a young player, and he has not experienced an international event as much as Pobelter did. Well, he's only but I think it'll be pretty good matchup. I don't think Pobelter would come out ahead. Maybe evenly or maybe even less, but definitely looking forward to the mid lane matchup and the top lane matchup. Predictions for Group B is that Longzhu will take number 1 seed, and to be honest, I think any team could take number 2 seed from Group B. I'm more so looking forward to Gigabyte Marines against Longzhu, the jungle matchup with Levi and Cuz. Okay, Cuz is not one of those outstanding junglers. He's just got good laners. I think he's pretty good individually too. So he's like high up in the solo queue ladder. But I think Levi, if he plays like himself, if he plays like the legendary Captain Levi, I think he can out jungle Cuz and get his team ahead, but not so much winning the game because Archie, the top laner, is gonna get complete Shrek, without a doubt. He's just gonna get complete Shrek by any other top laners and everyone else in that group stage. But I'm looking forward to the Cuz and Levi matchup just because of how I want to see Levi perform against Cuz. So Longzhu number 1 seed, and any team in Group B for me can take number 2 seed. Group C. This is an interesting group because it's Samsung, G2, and RNG. Samsung and RNG. Okay, okay, I do agree. Samsung was in a really big slump. More so towards the end of summer split and especially playoffs. But however, everybody can clearly tell that MLXG just came spot lane to get Uzi ahead. This is exactly what KT did in a way. You know, in that playoff series against Samsung in the Gauntlet, KT score either camp bot lane or he went camp top lane. But Ambition, he's already prepared for this. In that 3-game series, Ambition was always predicting where score would be, and he would either counter jungle or he would counter gank, or he would gank the opposing lane and get his bot lane ahead. I feel like in this meta right now, it's more beneficial for junglers to gank their bot lane, just because if you gank top lane, then it's just a tank fiesta. I don't think you can get anything much out of a top lane dive or top lane gank unless you got a heavy damage dealer jungler or a heavy damage dealer top. I think that MLXG will camp bot lane without a doubt. He'll skip his fucking Krugs once again and just camp in doing a lane gank. You know, he'll camp Uzi and Ming, but I'm confident with how Koi JJ and Ruler will play this out to prevent the gang. I'm actually really confident on how Ambition is able to read MLXG like a book. I'm confident that Samsung will take number 1 seed without doubt. The Xiaohu and Crown matchup, I'm kind of looking forward to that, you know, because Xiaohu is, for me, just personally for me, is undisputed the best mid laner in China. The best native Chinese mid laner in LPL this year.
I was about to.
The best native Chinese mid laner in the LPL this year, and I'm looking forward to how he goes up against Crown. I'm just hoping that by the time Crown reaches Worlds, he's going to be back in his 2016 Worlds performance stage, and not his 2017 summer slumpings, because mid lane matchup will also play a big part in the game. Top lane matchup, you know, Let Me will just get destroyed by QV. I'm confident. QV, he's going to eat his black bean noodles. He's just going to go all off. He's just going to destroy RNG's top lane. And if MLSG makes the visit top side, QV will destroy them 2v1. So I'm looking forward to that. How Ambition is able to read MLSG well in this tournament. So I think Samsung will take number 1 seed, and number 2 seed will be RNG. Nothing against G2 or anything, but historically in best of ones, they haven't been the best teams. And if Aquaman does decide to, you know, not liquefy himself in his seat, I think that he can do some wonders for G2. But otherwise than that, I think G2 is a really easy team to tilt in best of ones like that. Like there's been like in that MSI game against TSM, that Clan Fiesta game, like how G2 was winning, I think G2 was winning and then TSM somehow won the game, or was it vice versa? But either way, if they play like that Fiesta style, that I don't think they'll even be a contender for number 2 seed. Maybe they will be, but I think RNG would undoubtedly Samsung would undoubtedly take number 1 seed, and RNG has a higher chance than G2 to take number 2 seed. And for whoever gets in the Group C from the plains, I don't see them taking a game off anyone but G2. Maybe RNG, just depending on how they play. But yeah. Now Group D, I'm not really interested in watching Group D. I'm just more so to the lazy side, just because like it's Flash was missed with TSM. As much as I don't want TSM to get out of groups, this is actually such a free group for them. And if they somehow fuck this up, then they should just stop hyping things up and just just stick with how they play. But I think Misfits, on a good day, like if they played with using their brains and Maxlore doesn't do the casual ambition by invading with when all lanes are pushing in, I think Misfits is a number 2 contender seed for Group D. I'm hoping that World Elite makes it past plains and gets into Group D. I will definitely root for them for number 1 because World Elite is actually a really fucking good team, and I'm actually happy. I'm excited to see if World Elite gets in Group D, like what they will do to TSM Misfits and Flash, like how they would dismantle them piece by piece, second by second. So World Elite, if they get into Group D, will take number 1 seed. But realistically, if some other team somehow makes it to Group D and not World Elite, I think that TSM has actually a great chance of getting out of groups, a bigger percentage than previous years. As opposed to Flash Wolves, yes, LMS has been quite weak. Mabel has not been playing like his Taiwanese faker level as opposed to last year. Karsa was a bit lackluster this year. Like, okay, he got that competitive ruling by his team. But then again, after watching those games, it kind of felt lackluster to watch Karsa play for a bit. But during the playoffs, he did pick up his pace again with Maple. Like, you know how Flash Wolves kind of, you know, focuses on the Maple and Karsa combo. So I'm excited to see what they can do and how they can exploit that against Bjergsen's Svenskeren. And I'm hoping Flash Wolves actually makes it out a group stage. Just personal opinion, I hope they get number 2 seed and World gets number 1 seed. So NA and E gets eliminated in Group D.
Okay. Before I give my predictions, I'm just gonna stick with Image and Chat. This will pretty much summarize my predictions for it's in general shop. This will pretty much summarize my predictions. For this, so no, wasn't we drinking the hoagie nectar of hope? You know what? That's the hoagie nectar of hope. You know.
At the very least, I hope TSM gets second and runs into one of the 3 Korean teams, so I can see a brutal 3-0 in quarterfinals.
Dude, that's a 2014 special, you know.
2014 all over again. I'm ready.
Samsung gonna give them 1 game for full swap and just mantle them.
So
Boy.
yes, I'm gonna just throw this out here. Well, SKT is obviously gonna come first in Group A. EDG are gonna come second because AHQ's bank accounts are gonna be a lot richer by the end of this. By the end of that group stage, honestly. Who has the chances of getting in? Gambit, I think, is.
Yep.
Gambit and
Yep.
someone else. I can't remember the other team. Gambit will get in, and they will get bodied by SKT. Maybe not by EDG. I can't see EDG bodying them. I could see EDG maybe going even. Scout will. What's Gambit's middle name? Kira?
Kira.
Yeah.
He played one unique champion every split. Well, I don't think it's going to help him against Scout because Scout's just going to fucking mechanically play him on every single champion.
I can say from a standpoint of being a mid laner, Kira's mechanics are just absolute dog shit. Like,
Yeah.
I swear, please no, please no. It's basically just taking this like 4'5" guy and stepping him up to someone who's like 7 feet in the NBA. Like, no, it's not gonna work out.
He's going to get fucked. Group B. If Fnatic get in, I'm going to stick Yongzhou at top. Fnatic at second if they get into that group. As I sort of threw off, I'm going to stick GPL above IMT actually. Simply because like Cody's son, he's gonna be drinking a Galacom by the end of that game. Like, I'm telling you, like that guy's position at times, his target selection is just fucking so bad. Like, Flame, he's gonna get bodied by Com. Like, he gets to be serious here. But the man created the Flame Horizon. It's gonna be renamed by the end of this. Like, Com is gonna fucking destroy him. Flame may have experience, but Flame was going even with Haunter. So, well, sorry, he's doing better than Haunter, but you know, I would still say that Flame has not impressed me enough. It's good to say that he would even go even with Con. So yeah, I'm gonna stick Yongzhou first and Fnatic second. If Fnatic don't get into that group, I'd stick Gallon second. Now here comes the fucking real spacer here, you know what I mean? I gotta say fuck you. I'm gonna stick G2 to 5-1 this group.
Keep dreaming, you boy. Keep dreaming.
I'm gonna stick Samsung Galaxy at second. And I'm gonna stick RNG at third. Now,
I think
Yeah,
there's a higher chance of SKT Bert's and G2 making it out groups.
wait, what was that? Sorry, Scrub?
I think there's a higher chance of SKT Ari skin than G2 making 5-1.
Yes.
Now, okay. Here's a reason here, right? So, Aquaman doesn't have to do anything, right? Do what this meta is, right? He takes courage, he builds fucking Bond of Stone and plays fucking Lulu jungle and just protects Sven, right? Like, yes, for the perspective here, this is a meta where Ardent Sensor exists, right? And do what G2's whole tactic in Best of Ones is protect Sven. See as long as Zen doesn't int, they're fine. And Zen doesn't int that often, right? Very rarely does he. Ruler on the other hand. Ruler gets fucking bent over, measured. Like, he gets fucked. Like, he got absolutely boned. His Gauntlet did not, like, impress me that much. He played well, sure. But, like, just ban Calista. You know, he's got to get boned. Like, I could see Zen just fucking bending him over backwards, right? little Korean just stand there, and Zen just walks over with his tall head and just smacks him around.
Dude, I can't fucking watch for roll to Ben's Van over, dude, for fucking him. Oh my god, I can't wait for it.
Roll Ruler's gonna need a ruler to measure the difference in dick size after Zen's done fucking him.
What's this Aqua Boy meme? I just seem to miss out.
Trick, after drinking the water on stage and having to go to the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Also his Wikipedia page.
His Wikipedia page, yeah.
Yeah.
Perks and Crown, like, I hope Crown's ready to learn some more matchups because he's gonna have to learn them by the time Perks is done with him.
Oh my god, this EU bias is so.
X-Fact is gonna get boned. Like, I don't care what I would. X-Fact's gonna get boned by
The
everyone.
one Korean. I was like, no, there's two.
Wait, can I just add something in about this G2
Yeah,
Can I just add something in? I can't wait for Ambition to just fucking smack around with his bat against Trick, you know, for those CJ days and backstabbing CJ like this to move to a fucking shit tier region like EU, dude. I can't wait for Ambition to just smack Trick around like Aquaman. Like, you know, by the end of the day, by the end of the group stage, Ambition will make. Okay, Trick will be Glenn, okay? And Ambition will be what that guy with the bat in Walking Dead. He'll just smack him dead. He will. You know, he will just. Oh, I'm so sorry, lads, but it's been a fucking month, boys. But anyway, Ambition will smash Trick down into tiny bits. Okay, he will just go down the drain. He will be liquid by the end of the day. He will. If Trick becomes liquid because of Ambition, then G2 will get 4th place. So, I'm ready for this fucking.
I gotta say is right. You don't need to stick Trick on actual champions. Just stick him on Nunu, Nunu, and Gragas, and problem solved. He can't. Nunu, he has a chance to invade. He can keep some of his erection up. You know what I mean? He can be like, oh, I'm doing things, guys. I'm taking the enemy jungle. Woohoo! And Ambition tries to. You can't invade Nunu. You know, what's Ambition gonna do when Nunu comes for you? You know.
No, look, first of all, before you put Trick on any actual champions, can you make sure that you actually give him a brain first and fucking keyboard and mouse as you play the game? Because like every time I see him, right, he's so deep in his toilet. He's so deep in his state. Like literally, I don't know if I don't know if it's like a fucking jelly or some shit at this point because he's just drinking way too much water. Okay, so I can't wait for this matchup, boys.
And and then I'll move on to the next group. Since you know. Okay, I gotta straight up throw it out there. Fucking if WE get into that group, every team in that group is fucked. Okay, there's 957 will rape Poncer, right? 957 will literally be fucking him over. Now, wait, actually, one more point. Actually, in the group of G2, RNG have a chance if they sub in the greatest top winner of all time, Koro motherfucking one with a Rumble Fever bottle. Shove him in there, you know what I mean? Get him body expect of it with the, you know, Rumble Fevel, and that'll be their one loss. Right? Anyway, next group.
Honestly, at the point we're memeing, we should have just sent FlyQuest to Worlds.
Next, honestly, like I said, I think WE will beat top back group if they get into it without a fucking doubt. Like, and then it'll be between Skywolves and Misfits, like, Wolves and Misfits. TSM, like, what can you say? WF on the international stage. Bjergsen on the international stage. And Sven Skaren in 2017. I could very easily say, and I don't think Maxor is going to destroy him, right? I'm not going to say Maxor is going to destroy him, but Maxor Instess. So, Power of Evil versus Bjergsen. I think Power of Evil has a winning record here. And Alfari and the Hunter. Alfari's already challenger in Korea. Hunter's probably still bronze. So, you know, I'm going to stick, I'm going to stick WE if they get into the top of that group. Then Flesh Wolves or Misfits. And if WE aren't in that group, I'll stick Flesh Wolves and Misfits. So,
so you just did some bold predictions. Does anybody have any, like, kind of, like, dark horse predictions? Like,
I said I just stuck G2 to win 5-1
yeah,
in their group,
that was yours, obviously.
Okay, my dark horse prediction would actually be Japan just coming out of nowhere and then just destroying Korea just for the World War days. Just historically. You will, mate. I'm fucking Japan, dude. I want to smash Korea. No, I'm kidding, but that's my I think LJL is my dark horse in the plains.
Do you think OC can actually take a game off any of the other teams that are actually qualified for Worlds right now?
Dude, what are you talking about? OC, dude, Fire is obviously the better jungle in the world, dude. You can't deny it. He's got that shaved head. He looks like a monk. He's legit the second coming of. You can forget BDD for being Buddha, okay? Shen is Buddha right now. I can't wait to just eat my own words like a month's time.
Okay,
Don't
so
worry, I can't diverse.
Eat your
here's
words
my bold
free.
prediction. It's a pretty
No
bold
one's left?
It's a pretty bold prediction, but if Samsung can capture the same form that they captured last year at Worlds, then I can place it in maybe 80-20 that they'll win the entire thing. On the basis that
80-20?
on the basis that SKT, this roster, even at firing on full cylinders, is just weaker than last year's roster. Duke is just
Yep.
head and shoulders better than both Uni.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Dude,
Bengi-
80-20 is a bit of a rookie number, dude. Pump it up.
yeah, yeah, but like the bigger point is that like SKT's roster this year is just worse, and on top of that, their bottom lane's underperforming, and that's like the first time in a long time that I've seen Bang and Wolf playing that bad. And a large part of SKT's success wasn't just Faker being Faker; it was like Bang and Wolf being solid players down bottom, but they've just been, I don't know, I think they've become way too complacent with Faker in the mid lane, and they performed so bad in finals versus Longzhu. Whole I was I was fully convinced that it was Piglet cosplaying from 2014 as Bag. Like I was just
Oh my
I
lord,
was
that bad?
I was getting straight PTSD, like how bad like they were getting drummed bottom by Prilla. I was so sad. Like my voice is cracking. Like give me a moment.
Does anyone else have any dark horse predictions while Scalva's recovering?
Joe, do you got
Yeah,
one?
dude,
Dylan?
HQ takes number 1 seed.
What?
HQ takes number 1 seed.
H-
Choi's gonna clap Faker around, you know.
Come on, Taiwan have more money than EDG. Nice
Taiwan
looking
number 1.
in. Any dark horse predictions for you, Jason or Cho?
Joe, do you got one?
China will win Worlds. Two Chinese
Ooh.
team in finals. There you go. That's
Oh.
my
I
dark
don't
horse
think that's a
prediction.
dark horse. For me, I think that's I kind of think LPL will actually make it to semis. I don't think it's a dark horse for me personally, but LPL has been really strong this year. Just my opinion.
I think if an EU team, not saying it's G2, not paid by T2, can avoid a Korean team, I think they could make at least at least semis. If they can avoid a Korean team, I can't see them beating a Korean team in the best of 5. Maybe they could beat. I already think they could beat Samsung Galaxy. Right? I gotta throw it out there. Like I think SKT are better than Samsung Galaxy, and I think Longzhi are significantly better than both of them. So yeah, I think G2 will at least make semis.
I just want to say something. Just point this out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually quite scared for Longzhu at this point. A part of me says that they could be cosplaying Samsung Ozone in 2013 and Najin White Shield in 2014. Like a part of me just tells like something. A part of Samsung Ozone and Najin White Shield might just show up in Longzhu for some reason. It's maybe because of Gorilla or something like that. But I kind of feel like Longzhu is like, for me, this year is like the reiteration of Najin White Shield and Samsung Ozone in World. So I'm hoping they didn't actually cosplay and make it out of group stage and quarterfinals and make it to semis. But yeah, I'm just praying.
I think that's a very unfair comparison because like Ozone wasn't like a top 3 or 4 team like in before they entered Worlds, and plus they changed Hom for Looper, so it's different. Like Longshu's actually been a dominant team. They've shown that they have the stones to play at a high level. Ozone at the time was not, and
yeah, that's a good point.
Najin is the greatest mystery of Korean esports. Like I don't know.
All right. I don't think an EU team will make it out of groups.
Oh,
that is.
Are you sure?
I'm not even like. It's like I think 90%. Like, I think they are in a bad meta for them. They looked weak all year. Like even like Fnatic, who I even said was probably like the best team in EU. They lost to the 3rd place EU team like convincingly. And it's like they have like these lulls where they just don't look like what they have been in the past. And I definitely think EU has been like a really strong team for a lot, like not team, but like region for like the last couple of years. But I think this year is just not their year. And I don't think they will make it out of groups.
I'm just gonna throw it there as well. I actually think that Fnatic are like so much like more of a weaker team than it would show, if you know what I mean. Like I don't think Fnatic are actually the 2nd place team in the EU. It's like, you know, people would meme, you know, oh, if Misfits got lucky in their series, Fnatic were overcome. I don't think that's true. Like I think it's a case of Misfits actually did beat Fnatic. It's just Fnatic were way too. We're just not that good. I don't think we're as good as they think they are.
But it'll ultimately depend on the last seed in each group. Like,
yeah,
it'll depend on if Fnatic makes it into the actual group stage. If World Elite goes in Group D, it's literally just going to be it's like the same thing as Group B, where it's everybody needs to fight for second seed because World Elite will destroy everybody in Group D if they get it. Like, I don't see a way that TSM or was it Flash Wolves or Misfits beat like World Elite. They're just on a whole nother tier. So
yeah.
I think based off the depending on how the group final thing goes, EU won't make it out of groups.
Let's be real there. Let's hope that TSM gets 0 scrims in Korea, so they just go 0-6.
That would be so stupid if G2 got scrims and TSM didn't, though.
Because of Weldon?
Because of Weldon. That's why they're not. That's why people are mad that TSM's going or whatever. But it's not even it was. It's like saying, "Oh man, I hate that guy. He doesn't even work here."
It's because TSM doesn't have Korean players like G2. You know, Terry Weldon has proven himself to be loyal to the Korean nation by working with G2, two superior Korean players. You know?
Obviously if you work for an organization, they need to stand up for what you do and they need to own it, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same point, Weldon has to own it himself too. I don't know. It's like a sketchy situation, kind of. But
it's an Aquaman's currently writing the Dunzo manifesto for Weldon as we speak. You know,
the Weldon manifesto.
But you know, whenever he was coaching me, he told me Japan was superior nation. You know. But, that's. I think that. Do we have any? Do you want to move on to questions and answers? Unless anyone has any points.
I think we should just. We're coming up on an hour and 45 minutes, so.
Okay. Move on to questions and answers and see if there's any.
Yeah, let's just quick check on Twitch chat.
Anyone got any questions or any memes or anything you want to throw in and ask us? You know, and
kind of unrelated. Mickey is #1 in NA solo queue now.
That's not an achievement.
I mean, if TSM is not there, if Mortal's is not there, if
Cloud9
is not there.
This week.
Question mark.
He has
if Alfari was there, he'd be #1.
58% win rate.
Mickey's a backstabber.
He's a backstabber.
Best players per role per group.
Yeah, let's do Rob's question. Yeah, best player per role per group.
Oh boy.
Okay, just groups.
Okay, just
okay.
groups. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, we're gonna have to write this on the Discord then. We have to...
this would be
really on the Discord.
Is a hot dog a sandwich? I'm just gonna throw it out there. Yes, hot dog is not a sandwich.
Okay, I'll go first. Just Group A. It's Unitara. He does everything.
I'm just gonna write mine down.
Okay, well that's why I'm gonna say Group A.
All good. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that's definitely Unitara. Immortals. I'm gonna say that would be. Ollie does actually a lot to do. He'll play the tanks. He plays the playmaking. He does a lot of roaming. He does what he needs to snowball his team around. Group C. I don't follow LPL enough to know, so I'll just say between Samsung and G2. Probably, honestly, Ambition, because they just fucking swap him out willy-nilly for no reason. So that's, honestly, that's a huge achievement. And then, I'm gonna go with support again for Misfits. I think Ignar does a really good job of... It's pretty much the same as Ole.
Chu, do you want to do yours, or do you just want to write them in chat?
I'll go last.
Okay.
Write it down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm writing mine as well. But for Group A, I'll just cover all 5 rows in Group A for top. I'm gonna agree with Scott here. I'm gonna go Hune. Blank. I'm actually gonna put Scout in the middle, not Faker. ADC I'm gonna put Bang, and Support I'm gonna put Mako. For B, I'm gonna go. Honestly, I just kind of want to put all. If Fnatic got in there, I would probably go Khan. Because again, BDD. In fact, yeah, no, it's just gonna be all Yongsu, honestly. If there's an argument I can make for Xmiffy maybe at most, but Xmiffy for being able to lead that team and make it do so well. In fact, yeah, I'll go Khan, Xmiffy, BDD, Prey and Grow. Group C, all G2 maybe. No, Orange again. I'm gonna stick down top lane. I'm not even sure. Maybe Cuvée for top. Wait, who's RNG's top winner?
RNG,
Let me. Yeah.
Let me. Oh fuck, he's gonna get fucked. It's gonna be Cuvée first. Jungle. I'm gonna stick down Ambition. I'm gonna regret that later. I know. Mid lane. I'm gonna stick down Perks because I think Crown's just gonna fucking choke. ADC, I'm gonna stick Uzi, and C, support, I'm going to stick down support, I'm gonna stick down Core JJ. For group D, I'm going to do oh shit, that's actually kind of a difficult one. Fuck. Top lane, I'm going to do Alfari. Jungle, I'm going to do Karsa. Mid lane, I'm going to do Bjergsen. ADC, I'm going to do. Is Hans? No, I'm going to do double lift and support. I'm going to do Ignore.
Yeah.
Misread
Group
that
D is
question.
very hard for me to do if I don't include WE. Honestly.
Yeah, same.
They're not even in the group yet. Like,
I know, but like I just.
it's not good. Like, there's a 50-50 chance, and you guys are all Group D. We're in the lead.
Listen, Rat will fix it in a way. You know, we'll get them in there. You know, they can't get TSM get out of groups.
Actually, on that note, I have to give a shout out to my boy Rookie. I'm happy to get more exposure to a wider audience. A lot of casual viewers don't acknowledge or know about him. His swagger is just off the charts. And I have a personal message from my heart, who's been in pain for 3 years. Please come back to Korea.
Yes.
Please. Thank you.
All right, I've got to do mine, I guess. So for Group A, top lane Huni, if he goes, I assume he's gonna go. Then for jungle, I'm gonna give it to my boy Clearlove, the man himself. He will achieve ascension this event. He will solo carry every single lane and get second seed.
Become the best jungler in the world.
Yeah, this is his tournament. Hometown, let's go, or home country. Mid is Faker, that's pretty obvious. AD carry Bang and support Mako. Then for Group B, it's Longru, their entire roster, so Khan, Cuz, BDD, Prey, Gorilla in each role. Group C, we have QV in the top lane, Ambition in the jungle, Xiaohu in the mid lane, Uzi, AD carry, and Mithy as support. Spanish king, support king. And in Group D, this is assuming W doesn't make it. I'm going to give top lane to Alfari. I think he's looked really good in Challenger. Solo doesn't mean anything, but I don't know. I have faith that he'll show up and clap people. Jungle Karsa. Mid lane Power of Evil. And bot lane, I'm going to give it to TSM's bot lane, double and Bioforce. I think they're, despite all the memes, relatively solid. Again, this is assuming W is not in this group. If W is in this group, then you know, yeah, it's going to look a lot different.
Okay, I guess I'll go next. For Group A, it's going to be. Scroll up to what I put. For Group A, it's Huni top, Blank Jungle, Mid Faker, ADC Bang, and for support Mako, I think Wolf is been performing worse than Bang overall, except at MSI. But I think Mako's a quality player. He's been on EG for a long time. Group B, it's basically just the LZ roster, no matter what. Like maybe if like WE gets placed in, then I'd put like Condi over Cuz. Like that's basically the only thing that I change. If assuming that WE went to Group B. Group C, top would be QV, jungle would be Ambition. Mid is between Crown and Xiaohu. If Crown shows up in summer form, he can fly. He can swim back to Korea for all I care. Don't you ever dare embarrass me ever like that again. ADC Uzi, and then the support Core JJ. And as for Group D, assuming that WE doesn't join, top Alfari, I think he's a solid player, and solo queue isn't always translate into professional play, but it is an indication of how mechanically and mentally solid a player is. Jungle Karsa, mid Maple, ADC Hansama, and then support Sword Art, who's criminally underrated.
Okay. Is that Jason? Did you do all of yours? Yeah.
I misread the question, to be honest. I thought it was the biggest role.
Yeah,
I read
NA brain.
I've been up since like 4 a.m.
NA leg.
Anyway, I said the best player per like best role player per team. You guys all have pretty like cut and dry things. Pretty much for A and B, it's mostly just a mixture of EDG and then SKT, and then Group B is all Longzhu. Like let's be real. And then for Group C, it is G2. What are the? Let me just go to my other tab here. One sec. Sorry. Okay, Group B is G2 Samsung. Okay, so I'm gonna say Kuvi's like the ultimate like role player top lane probably. He was definitely the best player on Samsung this summer, so I'm gonna say Kuvi top. And then probably just the jungle top synergy would be the same, so Ambition and him. And then I will take Perks mid, and actually no Xiaohu mid, and Uzi to carry, and then Maiko support. And then for the last group, I'm gonna say Alfari is definitely like he's been really good. I thought. I'm kind like both junglers between Misfits and TSM are both like Maxwell's probably better just because he's young. Like Svenskeren can play well, but he's been like bad for at least a year now. So I think that's a pretty easy toss up. I think Bjergsen's better than Power of Evil. And then I think that the gap, like for obviously like Ignar's way better than Biofrost, but I think that Double F's better than Onsama. And it's hard to say that like probably although keeping the teams together would make the most sense. Double Lift and Ignar would be actually a really cool lane to see. So that'd probably be what I'd say for those.
If you were to cast, do you want to move on to the next question? Rob asked another question. If you were to cast EU/NA pros in a movie, which actors would play them?
Becker would be Chuck Norris.
Wait,
Can
who's
Sven
gonna be
play
Chuck
himself?
Norris?
Oh, actually, never mind. Damn it! I forgot that's EUNA. Never mind. Okay, back to the drawing board. We're back.
If you were to cast ENA pros in a movie, is it only
Probably.
world specific, or can I cast a Dardoch inside?
Probably would be Steve Buscemi.
Dude, if I get
Yeah.
Dardoch, I'll
Yeah.
get an Emmys, dude, for sure.
There's honestly like I would actually have to cast Sven as himself just simply because of his image. And this would be the film that he would act in as well, in my opinion.
I like to cast myself as Bjergsen.
Look a bad guy.
Hey, I
Okay.
could play Bjergsen. I look just like.
If I had to cast, let me see. If I had to cast a movie, I'll put Dardoch as the main character, like the catalyst that could cause random shit. He can either be antagonist or protagonist, and I think I'll put Piglet and Mick. I'll put all the people that can't speak English perfectly with Dardoch in a movie and inside a room.
So breaking point, yo.
Just give me an Emmys already, dude.
I would actually probably I would cast Akpeke as Ocelot and Ocelot as Akpeke. Just
my
to see
lord.
how they do in the roles reversed. I know actual actors. I don't even know honestly. Like, do something. Actually, I would actually cast Dardoch as Tom Cruise. Honestly, like we're both loose cannons. We're both all over the place. And both causing a lot of fucking problems. Like, I would definitely cast what. I would cast Alfred as Morgan Freeman for obvious reasons. You know, all about that spiritualistic shit. You know, all about that friendship and comradeship and all that good juicy stuff. I can't really figure anyone else. Anyone else? In fact, WF would be in what's his name? Jackie Chan. Like I can't remember guy. Like WF
That's
would.
some racism right there.
Wait a minute. Jackie would be. What was the name of the actor from Rush Hour that was alongside Jackie?
Oh yeah, Kevin.
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris Rock and for Afromood just because Rush Hour.
okay.
Yeah. No,
Yes,
yeah.
lads.
WF would have to be Jackie Chan because WF has some top tier banter at times, right? And he sometimes has the mechanics to do things, you know. But as he's getting older, he's losing them, you know.
I think. Okay, go on. Sorry.
Sorry, I'm just gonna stick it out there. Bjergsen would actually be Chuck Norris because Bruce Lee would definitely be Faker. Because Chuck Norris would have to be is basically, you know, they've actually fought in the film before and Bruce Lee won. So Chuck Norris would have to be the overhyped Western Midlaner, so he'd have to be Bjergsen. And Bruce Lee would have to be Faker because he's literally untouchable. Well, currently anyway.
I think I would put Score as Jack from the Titanic and Rose as Kate. Rose as an LCK title. I would do it just because Score can never achieve those things, sync, and he'll never achieve those things ever again in his life. So
And
Score
all
will be
the-
Jack from Titanic.
And all the water will be from Smeb drinking alone. Yeah.
All that Soji
I
commercials
can just see
paying
the
off for
image of
Smeb.
Squirt just drifting down into the depths of darkness as he retires. It feels bad.
Dude, he wouldn't let go, dude. Yeah, definitely Titanic would be with probably would be Score and LCK title. Was there another question? Wait, there's another question. List of Anna said list of teams that can pull an upset other than G2.
GT isn't an upset. It's a fact.
Shut the fuck up, you bias.
It's not EU
I'm
bass.
bummed.
It's just G2 bass. No chicken.
Dude, it made me call my uncle to
Let's
blow
be
my
real. Let's
Let's
be
say-
real here.
No play-in stage, surely, just for Worlds. Just-
In general, I think fuck.
I don't know. I think Gigabyte Marines. Anyone?
I think
Yeah.
Gigabyte are going to be worse than they did at MSI.
See, I think the
Probably.
issue is you have a boot camp now. So
If you want to make an upset, then Gigabyte Marines is the team to make an upset, I reckon.
Guys,
TSM
You have to
making it out of
realize-
groups is an upset.
yes, of course, but there is a top 5 jungler of all time at this tournament. Diamond will carry Gambit to the finals, mark my words.
He's not in play-ins. He's in play-ins.
Yeah.
So
he'll fuck
He'll
up Bank.
conquer planes.
I said-
Bank's gonna get fucking destroyed.
I said we're just disregard play-ins for this question.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, why?
Because you don't. It's not guaranteed they're going to make it, right?
I mean, we're playing against some pretty scrub tier wildcard teams.
It
So
just depends on draft.
Fnatic
They got
and
they got
C9.
the worst group. They are going to be. They have the hardest road out of anybody to make it, for sure. I think
Gambit?
I want to see Gambit do well. Like I 100% agree. I think Gambit.
is Lion Gaming even good? Because I'm pretty sure outside of Seiya, their team isn't.
No.
really-
But they have to play against playing first seed against second seed is always obviously better. So they have to play a first place seed because they're probably not going to get first over World Elite.
And before they 2-0
That'd be really fun.
Cloud9. And I laughed all this off.
I don't know. Honestly, I would not care if Cloud9 or Fnatic or anybody. I'd like to see both Gambit and Fibonacci make it out, but it's just questionable at this point.
Okay, I have a question for you guys. Who's gonna win the Dade Award this year?
Oh fuck.
That's pretty tough.
Do you want to come back to that and answer Rob's question first?
Okay,
yeah.
so go.
What are the best?
What are the best teams of each region that do not make worlds?
Probably
I know someone's
CS:GO,
gonna say
Renee.
KT.
Yeah.
KT.
CLG, KT, HCK,
Okay.
and who did World Elite play in the fourth place match? Because that was the 3-2
IG.
game. IG, yeah. So if I-
IG, yeah, IG.
Rookie.
Yeah.
Why? Crawling in my skin. You almost solo carried that entire match. That's so unfair.
Guys, Kerry Unicorns Wolf should have went for Europe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, truly the best team. HGK just got lucky. Match fixed. That's why HGK are 2 million in deficit. They were too busy paying over teams to pro. But yeah, no, HGK for sure. Kind of. I still imagine they get fucked on the international stage. Like, could you imagine like Nuclear versus like any ADC of hands? Like, it would be pretty brutal. So weird. Like Nuclear would just walk up against, let's say Nuclear against Bang. Bang would just blow him up.
Okay, next question.
I think.
I think that was the last question.
I don't
Yeah.
see any-
No
So-
Dade Award. Dade Award.
Dade
Oh,
Award.
yeah, the Dade Award.
And then after
I'm
that,
gonna say BDD.
you watch your tongue.
Holy! Watch your tongue, you filthy peasant.
Big on foot.
Be good.
What
You
about
know
you,
not
Phil?
the powers you disturb.
What about you? Who's gonna win the Dade Award for you?
Faker.
I mean, if I was a betting man and I was being serious, I'd say Khan. But because memes, Dirksen.
Yeah,
What
I would
about you,
honestly
Jason?
say Khan. Oh, sorry, go on, Jason.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I said Faker.
Baker. Okay.
That'd be
What about
crazy.
you,
I
Gordon?
think this will be the first year they don't win Worlds. well, attending.
Honestly, mine's a toss up between Khan, or Pearson. Pearson, yeah, just purely for the memes, but Khan, I don't know. I'm scared for him, even though I'm confident in him at the same time.
I'm gonna throw Crown or Khan in there. Like I think
Dude, say
Crown.
Crown, dude. Khan's gonna be in the chat now. What the fuck?
Oh.
I gotta throw Crown in there and Crown or Khan. Like Khan's either just gonna get very punished for being over aggressive, or Crown is just gonna have to learn more matchups. So
Anna, don't tell them. The more they bet, the more I can win.
Rob said Scott. Yeah.
no, I think Scott, like, as long as he, like, no, I
mean,
don't think Scott will.
I mean, Scott has nothing to prove. His team's dog shit besides him.
But yeah, that's we can probably have time for one more question. That's it. Like,
Yeah.
one more
Who do you
stuff.
think World's MVP is going to be?
World's MVP.
BDD.
BDD, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Big Ding Dong. Yep. What? That's his name. Holy shit. It's Big Ding Dong.
Did Ruler measure it for me? Yeah?
Okay, by the way,
Hell yeah.
by some stretch of the imagination and Uzi actually wins Worlds, like, I won't even be mad.
Same.
You can't get a vein skin though. Oh.
Come on, we all know G2's gonna beat RNG.
Who got an
Oh my
Ezreal skin
God.
instead?
Uh,
I think World MVP.
I thought Callista, you know.
I would honestly say, yeah, what Lush said. I think if Longstreet gets his finals and they win it, I think Gorilla.
And this is pretty much an obvious question, but it's the last one I'm going to ask. Best player that isn't at Worlds?
Best favorite, isn't it? Words.
For me, it's between Smeb and Score.
Yeah.
Rookie.
Deft, obviously.
You
No.
can also put Rookie.
For
Actually, Rookie Rookie was probably the third best mid laner, like behind Zhao and Scout. He had a pretty poor summer. And Smeb wasn't that good, so I'd definitely say Score. Score's way too dominant in his
Scores,
role.
For Korea, I'm going to say Score. For Europe, I'm going to say...
Nuclear.
Yeah, definitely. No,
True.
I'm going to say Otawamne for Europe. I definitely think he's probably one of the best, like, if not the best top winner in Europe, one of the best when he's not choking. For NA, fuck, Hui, I guess.
Froggen, the boy Froggen, boys, come on.
Dude,
Oh,
Wait,
Omar
Rob's
Gold.
got one more question.
okay.
Yeah, we'll answer that one, and then I think we'll have to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Non. Yeah.
G2.
G2.
Shut the fuck up, you boys. I mean,
Yeah, G2. I'd probably say G2.
Oh, get fucked, Guardian. Fuck you, bitch.
I think G2 has a great chance. I'm just gonna hop on the bandwagon here because
Wait,
my teammates are
wait,
ditching me.
No. I completely forgot that China is not included. Yeah, China. Either Chinese teams. Because China, if Rift Battle shows us anything, it's that Koreans can get cocky and the Chinese can, take advantage of that.
Taiwan number one.
Especially with the rosters they're fielding.
Yeah, true. I could see WE upsetting in a Korean team, especially Samsung.
RNG and EDG are both very aggressive teams.
G2 trick on Dick what?
Ah, nice fucking meme. OC, and I'm gonna get out of groups.
OC! Okay, before you release my inner autism, I think we need to wrap it up because OC is.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay.
Alright, well, thanks for watching, everybody. And my thing was China, too, by the way. But we will be back relatively soon with episode 4. And we hope to see you guys all day. Thanks for tuning in.
Later.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks
Bye.
a lot for joining in.
No problem.
Thanks, Soph.